Did you know that the Yankees have a little bit of a scandal going on right now? They have a hitter who's hitting .333, who's been one of the hottest hitters all season. And then for some reason, he gets the entire series off against the Marlins. I can't believe there's already a book out about it. Yeah, these intro jokes are getting worse. I'm not sure how we're going to do this 149 more times.
Hey, Derek, big fan of the show. I just wanted to give a little rant about Aaron Judge. A little frustrated, obviously not with him. A little bit annoying seeing him pop out with the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth, but more so frustrated with the so-called fans that are constantly complaining about him. He has 2 home runs through 13 games. 2022, when he hit 6-2, he had 1 home run through 13 games. You know, not to say he's going to have that many again. Would obviously be nice and wouldn't surprise me, but he'll be fine. I mean, he's Judge. We all know him. These fans that are saying, get rid of him, bench him, trade him, I mean, it's ridiculous. You want to give him a day's rest to get his mind right? Sure. But, I mean, he'll be fine. We know he will. So, appreciate everything you do. Keep up the good work, and talk to you.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's absolutely asinine that people want to trade Aaron Judge or bench Aaron Judge or whatever. When you look up at the end of the season, if this guy is healthy, he's going to have over 45 home runs. He's going to be one of the most productive hitters in baseball. And look, he missed most of spring training with this abdominal thing, and now he's jumping in to live pitching who are trying to get him out, and he's off to a slow start. This was entirely predictable. I expect that any day now he's going to bust out. He's already shown signs. The other night he had 3 really good at-bats to draw walks. He hit a double. A couple of days before that he had a big home run. He had that big game against the Diamondbacks. He's showing flashes. He just hasn't put it all together yet. And when he does, this team is going to be almost unstoppable. You think about what Juan Soto's doing, the year that Anthony Volpe's having. You're hearing veteran baseball analysts describe Anthony Volpe as an emerging superstar. And I still think Dominguez is going to be an emerging superstar. We saw what he did when he came up. He made the major leagues at 20 years old. And do we really think that Gleyber Torres is going to hit 170 or whatever he's hitting right now for the whole season? Hell no. This is going to be a good offense, and Aaron Judge is going to be front and center. So anybody who's doubting Aaron Judge, who's sleeping on Aaron Judge, needs to wake the fuck up.
Obviously, we can't win them all. I'm just noticing some things, you know, even though we're off to a hot start, ways we can improve. The old Yankees, I saw Trevino, Gleyber Torres did it, Rizzo, and even Judge did it in that last at-bat. They're still trying to just hit home runs, you know, and the new way I see the Yankees and the way I prefer, and I think a lot of people do, is Soto and, like, even Verdugo, like, just hit the ball and run hard. You know, a lot of these old Yankees, they just try to hit home runs or they strike out, pop out, and they're not running hard. I think Yankees either need to ship out or shape up, you know, get on with this new trend that Soto is leading the way, frankly.
So even though it didn't work out, last night, I actually can't blame Aaron Judge for kind of taking a home run swing, trying to go for the win right there. If you hit the ball out of the ballpark, the game is over. Now it's a low percentage swing, but he's a professional home run hitter. I mean, he's got the American League record for home runs. If there's anybody that I want trying to put one out of the ballpark right there, yeah, it's Aaron Judge. But you have a point with guys like Trevino. Trevino takes a lot of big cuts for a guy who really doesn't have a lot of power. Gleyber Torres, I still think, is swinging too hard. Yeah, I agree with you there. But, yeah, love the approach from Juan Soto. Love the approach from Anthony Volpe right now. Verdugo has hit a couple of big home runs, but I think you're right in that he takes more of a contact approach, and I think he's going to run into some home runs just playing at Yankee Stadium. But in general, I kind of agree. I think it's not just the Yankees either. We're seeing guys just take enormous cuts all throughout baseball because you get paid to hit home runs these days, and these guys are trying to get paid. Thanks for the call.
Hey, Derek, this is Logan from Richmond, Virginia. Huge fan of the show, best Yankees content on YouTube by a mile. Wanted to get your thoughts on Trevino. To be honest, I'm a little over it. I don't care how many strikes he steals. The guy's batting, I don't know, 056 or whatever it was. Weirdly, I like what I've seen from Wells, despite his slash line also being pretty atrocious. He just seems like, there's a lot more upside there. And his at-bats generally look much more competitive. I know it's kind of fashionable for Yankees fans to call in after a loss and say DFA so-and-so, but I'm a little over Trevino, and if there's any other, trade options, a catcher, or anything you think would help us improve the position, be happy to hear it.
Obviously, it's made that much more frustrating by the fact that Ben Rortvedt is tearing it up with the division rival Tampa Bay Rays. Look, Trevino is off to a slow start. Wells also off to a slow start, but I think Wells has more upside. I agree with you. He looks hitterish. That's what scouts would say. He looks hitterish. We see him take pitches that are on the outside part of the plate and drive them with authority to the opposite field. We've seen him turn on the ball and hit it a mile. He did that last year during his brief stint. Now, he's off to a little bit of a slow start too, but again, this is a guy who's a rookie and he's not getting regular at-bats, not getting regular playing time. If I were the Yankees, I would say, Wells, you're my guy. 5 or 6 days a week, you are the catcher. And if we face a particularly tough left-handed pitcher and we want to get a right-hander in there, or if Garrett Cole comes back and you want, the better defensive framer to catch him, then by all means. But Austin Wells, I think, should be getting the majority of the reps. 100% agree. We had a few calls about this that, had some audio issues, but you could tell that was the gist. Austin Wells is going to be a good hitter in this league. He's going to be a good player. I still think he's a promising defensive catcher as well. Should be playing a lot more than he is.
I'm assuming, obviously we didn't hear the voicemails yet, but I'm assuming that a lot of people are going to be pretty upset with the way the game went yesterday. I think we had our chances. We had a bunch of chances. We just didn't get the hit. It almost boils down to as simple as that. We had runners on in almost every inning. Worked almost every pitcher that came in the game. The hitters did their jobs except getting the final hit. We had guys on base constantly, and they got to tip your caps. They came through when it mattered most. The Marlins did, their pitching staff, and that's it. That's how the game went.
I'll handle the recaps if you don't mind. No, I'm just kidding. I look, the Marlins got big outs when they needed to. Their bullpen stepped up, obviously. Look, you can't win them all. This team is not going to go 160-2. But I still think that they're off to a good start. They're off to a good enough start that they've put themselves in position to make a run at this division. I mean, even if you have some slumps throughout the year, we've seen that this is a very good team. Like you said, they battle. They threatened all game despite obviously having an offensive night. And the one thing that's been kind of underrated is that Giancarlo Stanton is back. Giancarlo Stanton has 4 home runs. He's hitting over 250. He's making contact again. That's going to be huge for this lineup. If we could get Judge, Rizzo, Torres going, maybe one of the catchers, damn, could end up being a pretty good lineup.
Derek, what's up, man? It's Scott. Look, love this team. I really do. I love this year's team. There's only 2 players that are really, really aggravating me. And it's sad to say, but it's Trevino, right? He is looking absolutely lost at the plate. Give Wells, I get it. I get it. We gotta rotate the catchers. But, I just want to see Wells being our regular everyday catcher. The ceiling for Wells is so much higher than it is for Trevino. We know what Trevino is. And the other player that's really starting to irritate me, and it's kind of sad because his play at third base is outstanding, but with Oswaldo having a bat as hot as he's had, taking him out now for almost an entire week, it's just like, all right, in my opinion, that's a recipe for disaster. You're going to have 2 guys now hitting like Birdie.
Yeah, Birdie off to a slow start. I thought his defense has looked pretty good. He's really good at coming and getting that slow chopper towards third base, cutting across the infield and making accurate throws. But again, I want Oswaldo out there, and I expect him to play a lot during this Guardian series. But the problem is, did you cool him off? Did you rest him too much? I guess we'll find out soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for calling in. Sorry I couldn't get to them all. We got a bunch more, but some of them are unlistenable because of the audio, and some of them I just don't have time to get to. But I appreciate the calls. Call in after every game, and odds are one of these days you'll be on if you called and you haven't been on yet. But appreciate it, and I'll see you after the Guardians game on Friday night.